everyone, I'm Bex or Becky and welcome to Bex Building. Today I'm going to be building in Willow Creek in this Riverside Roost property. I believe it's a camelback style property. I'm not very good with architecture. I don't know what buildings are what. It's something that's completely new to me, but I do think it's camelback. It's quite interesting. It's not one I've played before because it's a bit weird. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit of a refresh with it. So for me, a refresh is where I don't really move any of the walls, don't really change the layout. It's more just making it a bit prettier, a bit more up to date, a bit more styled for whoever it is that lives there. Whereas a renovations, you might be adding an extension, you might be moving some walls, that kind of thing. So it is very much a refresh. Every sort of main wall is where it used to be. It has been built with a family in mind. I will take you through that family later on. We'll move them in, introduce to them, and you can see what they're all about. I prefer building with families in mind because I think you get a bit more of an idea of like what kind of story you're trying to tell, who's living there, what colours you want to use, how you want to decorate it. So for example, with this family, I knew that it was a bit of an older couple and they've got their granddaughter living in with them, and it's very much the grandparents' house. The granddaughter just lives there, so there's her room, which is, it's almost like she's not really moved in, she's just staying in the same built-in furniture, but she's moved her stuff in there. So it helped me out that way. I think it's a lot easier building with that in mind. But like I said, I will sort of introduce you to them later on. So far we have changed the walls, we've changed the windows, we've changed the doors. So you'll very much see that there is a yellow theme going on, which suits this family. The grandparents do love the yellow colour, so everything is yellow, which I really like. It's a very sunny colour. Like I said, I'll introduce to the family later. I won't keep going on about them and why things are the way they are. But yeah, so once I've set about, got a bit of a gist of what I like to do, inside I like to turn all the floors, all the walls white, just to give myself a blank slate. I'm not being influenced by what was there before, especially when it comes to certain rooms where they've got half the room a kitchen, the other half the living room, and they might have the floor set a certain way. It'll really determine where I end up putting things. So I like to just put everything to blank slate so I don't get drawn into that. You'll notice there I just took like a load of walls out because I had this weird issue where I'm not sure what they're called, not eaves, the weird wraparound thing that goes around the house, that was clipping in as if that was the exterior of the house. So I don't know if you guys ever have it, but it happens to me all the time. So I just knock down the walls, put them back in, and if it keeps happening, I just keep doing that until it stops. Eventually it'll work. So you'll see I've just put like a little window in as well in this kitchen. That is my like little hutch, like service hutch. I don't know if anyone knows about any of these or has used them or seen them in the houses. But I know that my sister had one in her house previously and I really loved it. It's just really cute, and I think especially for this little old couple living in this house, I feel like they definitely have a little serving hutch. So it's just somewhere where when you're in the kitchen you can start like passing like some things out through the windows, and maybe it's plates, maybe it's bowls, cut of it, whatever it might be. It's somewhere for you to serve through that window without you having to keep going all the way into the kitchen, the dining room, the kitchen, the dining room. It's just easy and it's cute. So I think this family definitely would have a serving hutch. I just think because they're a little bit of an older couple, it's definitely something they would do. And it's just really cute. So that's from the ranch pack, whatever that's called. Getting ranching, I don't know. They've all got weird things now. But yeah. And then I just went through, put a burglar alarm in because it's very important we have that now. I do not want them getting robbed, this little old couple. And then put all the curtains on the windows. I really liked those, what's it called now? The cottage living. I really like the cottage living little blind thing, but I just could not get it the right size. So if I sized it down, it's too little. Kept it the same size, it wasn't quite right. Couldn't size it up. It wasn't working for me. So I ended up using the base game one, and then sizing down other blinds for the other smaller windows. On that note, we do really need some more blinds because everyone has blinds in the house now. That's just the way it is. You don't really have curtains that much. I mean, I'm saying that, I'm speaking from my personal experience where I am, there's a lot of blinds and not many people have curtains anymore. But maybe it's different for you guys. But yeah, I do think we need more blinds because I really struggle without them now. And then just trying to figure out a bit of a layout for the house now. So obviously where the serving hatch is, that's where I wanted the dining table, but I knew that I needed some living space, and because of the two front entryway doors, it made the space really weird to work in. I don't know if you can tell, but actually one of the doors had gone missing at this point. Yep, there we go, I realised. And I was like, oh, there's this whole big corner I can make a thing out of, and then I realised that's where the door was. I was very disappointed. So I thought I'll have a cute little bit at the front. So again, not to go on too much about the family, but the lady, the old lady lives here, she is nosy, so I really wanted a place for her to sort of sit and watch out at the neighbours while she's like knitting or sewing or whatever, just being nosy. So I wanted that area looking out onto the street, and then just a small sitting bit with a TV, because I don't think they'd particularly watch TV too much, but I think because of the granddaughter moving in, they probably just did a little bit of a makeshift, put a small TV on the side and Bob's your uncle. And then the sofa I took a long time deciding on because I wanted a really nice old school sofa, but I think that one worked out quite well. And then obviously, like, it's not a gramophone, it's like a vinyl record player, just more age appropriate really for them. I have put a load of flowers in this house. I don't know about anyone else's grandparents, but my grandparents were big for flowers, flowers everywhere, and I just think they look more homely and definitely more like old grandparent vibe, which is what I wanted. So flowers galore, and then I wanted lots of rugs to really break up the space, and I do like that new rug from Life and Death. Thought that was a really nice rug, and then I just wanted some others that were not too garish. I don't do words today, I'm really sorry, my head's in a totally other place today. Just some personal stuff, but I really want to do these videos just because it helps me take my mind off it. And if no one listens, that's fine. If no one watches, that's fine. It's just for me. But I used that carpet thing from that park. It's the carpet that you can get like the heavily trafficked ones. I just think it looks like old people vibes. It really reminds me of like the carpet that my grandparents used to have in like the 90s when I was really little. That's the vibe that I get from that carpet, and I just thought it was perfect for in here. And then again with the bathrooms, like I gave them that old tile look. Again, from my own personal experiences that remind me of my grandparents' houses, and like the beige yellow sort of tile that's a bit gross, and then the old school toilet with the wooden seat and that kind of thing. It was a lot of nostalgia really when I was building this. Just made me a little bit happy seeing that kind of stuff in there. And then I did make sure I did like shower tub combos. Really, this family would only have tubs because obviously they're an older family, and I debated getting the cottage living tub and things like that look old-fashioned, but it's The Sims and they take so long in the bath. So I was like, yeah, no, we'll do a shower tub combo, it's fine. And then I love these decorative plates. That is so grandparent. I'm saying that. For me, that is so grandparent. Decorative plates everywhere. And then the old school phone from that event that we just had. And then again, like little hutches for all the plates and decorative stuff. And, you know, when they're feeling fancy and they get the fancy plates out. And that little bunny with the flower in his mouth is just so stinking cute. I had to include him. And then I think there's about 17 million clocks in this house as well, because that also reminds me of grandparents. That bed is from Get to Work, I think. It's one of the unlockables for the artist career, or maybe it's base game. I'm not sure, but it's an unlockable with the Van Gogh flowers on it. And I just thought that was so beautiful for this family. And then I just wanted to split the space up again because, like I said, it's a weird space, and I didn't want to move any walls, so I was trying to fill it but make it look realistic and not super cluttered, because I don't think they're a clutter family. At this point I realised that they're gonna have a cat, mainly because I needed stuff to take up the space. So a cat moved in at this point, and I started being able to just chuck some extra things down just to make room for the cat and make it a little bit more homely. And it perfectly fits this family actually, so I'm really glad I ended up doing that. And I just got a little food bowl, and I know they only have like food, they don't have water, but I do like to have 2 bowls just for the illusion. And it makes it easier as well if you fill 2 bowls so that you're not running out of food. And then I love those tables for the games, like the card games, the puzzle games, the jigsaws. They're so functional, so useful. I don't think I really have many games now where they're not put in. So I think I'm now just copying a lot of the stuff from the downstairs bathroom into the upstairs bathroom. Bathrooms are very boring, they're all very samey, so just literally went up and down and moved that around. Just a nice plain bathroom. And then this is the room that, like I said, is the granddaughter's room, so it's sort of her own space, so I didn't want it to be super old, but like I say, it is what they had and she's just taken over that space, if that makes sense. So the walls and the floors are very much that style. And then I had that idea of, I don't know if this is again a me thing, but like there used to be those built-in around the bed like wardrobe spaces, and that just really made me think of like my grandparents. So I was like, I'm building that. So out of the Dream Home Decorator kit I made that like built-in look, and then I got a little bed to sit in it. And I do wish you could build it in a little bit better, but this was as good as I could get, with it being set sizes and things like that. But it still works for what I wanted, so I was quite happy with that. And then I just went in and put some decorations in the grandparents' room just to make it again feel a bit more alive, and just split it up with that divider. And then in the granddaughter's room again, just went up and filled some of those shelves with some bits, just all sorts of random stuff. But again, it's still the grandparents' house, so those boxes probably has some of the grandparents' stuff. The little simmy capsule thing, that's probably the grandparents. But because she does live there, she is going to get like her makeup out somewhere. I think the way I've sort of seen it is these desks are probably random furniture that the grandparents had that she's sort of taken over just for her sort of purposes. So she is going to be going to uni, doing writing, things like that, so she needs a nice space to do her work. So I do end up giving her 2 desks, I think, in the end, and a nice little outdoor space as well. So just to fill up that little gap in the hallway, we just put a little bookshelf and again another clock out there. Yeah, this is when I decided, yes, she's definitely going to have 2 desks, because I wanted loads of clutter furniture, like for her books and things. So I needed a place to put all that. The second desk is not functional because it's so full of bits, but I just love how it looks. I love the little open book, then the tomes next to it, and then again, she probably found just a random another like desk thing and just was like, right, okay, this can be my little makeup space. So she made that into hers, and just sort of plonked herself there as well. So very much making the best of what she has, but it's not her space. She's just sort of taking it over a little bit in the nicest way. I don't think her grandparents mean to make her feel left out, but it's not her home. And then I've just given her a nice little outdoor bit, so a little chair outside, and then somewhere for her to eat breakfast if she wanted to eat it away from them, because she does need her own space. Because my God, I could not live with my grandparents and not have my own space. And then I just wanted to make it look a bit lived in, so I've got some of those little grimes, little dirt splotches, and just put them places, mainly around like heavy use areas, so especially where the cat is, behind the cat beds, the trees and things like that, and in the kitchen. And then just to make it again feel a bit more homey, I just wanted to add quite a lot of pictures. So I tried to do like a bit of a gallery wall going up the stairs, but I was really struggling with like what the characters or the people were gonna sort of look like and who to put there. But I thought what might be nice is all these old-fashioned pictures, so maybe it's of the wedding day and things like that, and just dotted them around. I thought that was quite nice. And a lot of gallery wall stuff, so I think at the back I ended up going with loads of little pictures, especially, and yeah, I really like that one with the boat, because I see them as people that probably did travel quite a bit, and don't anymore, so I wanted to sort of put that in as well. And then again, some of the pictures in the granddaughter's room, they're probably a mixture of the grandparents and hers, or maybe the grandparents that passed them down to her, because they're off the unis, but she does go to uni, so I don't know. I don't really know. I think it's hers, but also theirs. And you'll notice I put the carpet on the ceiling, which might be an odd choice to some people, but I think there's that little pop carpet where you can see tiny little specks, and that reminds me of really old-fashioned ceiling paint, you know, when they've got the textures in the ceilings. So at this point, I am really learning about lighting in this game, because I always just use the ceiling lights and that's it, and just really have a lot of lighting. But I want to try and get into using the wall lights a bit more, and especially this house, because I think grandparents have a lot of wall lights more so than ceiling lights, which sounds really weird. But I like those little chandelier things, and then a nice little standing light. But yeah, I liked the little sconces on the bed and over this mirror as well in the bathrooms. I just think it adds to it, and it's more of a decoration as well rather than just purpose for lighting. So I was happy with that. And then obviously it just didn't let off quite enough light in some areas, so I did just go ahead and change some of them. But yeah, I think overall I was quite happy with the lighting situation once I'd figured it out properly. And I loved that standing light in that bedroom as well. I just thought it was really, really cute. And then, what am I doing? I think that's it once I fiddle with those lights. Oh, I think I do some outside lights as well. So I wanted some really cute lights above the doors. But there are little dangling lights as well on those ceilings, which I thought was nice. And then I go outside and do a bit of the landscaping and the outside bits. So just here I am making sure that the landscaping tool is used, so that I don't like to overdo it and just have like grass, because then it doesn't blend in with what's around it. But I do like to give it a little bit of a clean up, if you like. So I do always use the landscape tool just to clean around the edges, make it look a little bit neater, a little bit fresher. and then I wanted just a little bit of a clean garden. So it's not crazy landscaping, it's just this little bit in the fence, and then a little bit around the side, and that's pretty much it. I didn't want a lot on this. And I also found it really weird that they'd use both a mixture of tile and landscaping paint for the walkway, but I quite liked it. So I did prefer this landscaping paint for the walkway, which is kind of like a bit of a loose stone almost, but I wanted it to be neat how they had it, so I did that. And then this is just my little patch in the back corner of some other flowers as well, just to liven the place up a little bit. And the way I normally do my landscaping is having like a little area, and then normally, like I have with those little white low lying flowers, just outline it so it sort of fades off a little bit. But yeah, I couldn't really decide whether or not I wanted to line it with hedges, because I normally do, but I just wasn't feeling it, so I didn't. And I just dotted some bits around, and then I think I ended up putting some trees in as well. I think I ended up with 2 trees. Just moved my bin. Oh yeah, in that corner as well, just got a little bit of something in it too. I normally stick to about 3 or 4 different types of plants, trees, flowers sort of thing that I'm going to put in, and just use a variation of them in sizes and rotations, just so they look a little bit different, but normally within the same pack or base game, just so I know they're going to fit in with the area. Obviously those flowers at the front, they're from the Island Living pack, I think. They look tropical, so it's either Island Living or what's the Salvadorian place? I can't remember what it's called. One of them anyway. But I thought that they'd probably planted those flowers in particular because they're in that little fenced off area. So yeah, that's them. And then I just mess around for a little bit trying to figure out if I want any more flowers. I think I settle on a few little bits that I pop around, so like a little plant pot with a mushroom in it. I think I get that little wheelbarrow with flowers in it as well, just to bring it a bit more alive. I run that little flower pot as well right by the side, but I love that wheelbarrow with the flowers in it. It really reminds me of my granddad, who unfortunately has passed away, but that is definitely something he would have at his house and has had in the past, so I really do like that. And then again, this little pot at the front, and then just checking it all out at night time, making sure I like all the lighting, and then just adding some mud and dirt around all the landscaping and all the flowers. So that is the new property. So we'll do a little bit of a like flow around what it looks like, and we will go in it properly again, but I'm mainly just checking it's all happy, that I'm happy with it all even. So this is the Rainey family. So we've got, I'll go through them. This is Leroy, this is the granddad. He is wise, family orientated and creative. He wants a successful lineage. I see him as like quite a nice guy. He's the glue that holds the family semi together. He does have all these likes and dislikes set and things like that, but I think he's probably the sole reason that the granddaughter is living with them. I just see him as a bit of a nice guy. There's nothing, he's not a nasty person, he just wants what's best. And this is him without any accessories or anything, so obviously he's a little bit hairy, he's got age spots, he's just a little old man. And then his wife Patricia, she's nosy, she's a cat lover and she's neat, and she wants to be the neighbourhood confidant. So she is nosy. She's the one that I think, in my storytelling and how I see her, she's the one that's pushed her daughter too far away. She's probably trying to fix it a little bit, but she's not the best at it. So I think with the granddaughter, she's really trying hard this to like get back together, like sort the family out, but I do think she really struggles. Astea's like a strict old woman, and like I say, I think that Leroy is the one that holds the family together. And again, she's got like age spots, she's got freckles, and I have used the genealogist stuff to create Danica, who is their daughter, so she has actually got their genes. She wants to be public enemy, she wants to be a famous criminal. She is self-absorbed, hot-headed, kleptomaniac, a little rough around the edges, so she does not live with them. I am going to make her house another time, but I wanted to make sure that they all have each other's genes and they were made using that pool. And I'll show you her without any clothes. So she's got cuts, she's got tattoos, she's got piercings, she's just a bit rough around the edges, but I think she's quite cool. And then Ruby is Danica's daughter. So she wants to go to university, she wants to be academic, she's ambitious, she's genius, but she's socially awkward. Obviously she's come from a bit of a weird upbringing, not the most traditional, but she's still cute. Really cute outfits. She's just trying, and I think she's trying with the grandparents as well. She's probably just a bit confused by what's going on with the world and with her personal life. But yeah, I have tried to make her still like a normal young adult. She's got no like age spots or anything. She's just plain in quotes. And then this is Luna. This is Patricia's cat. She's a Scottish fold. She's fluffy, she's affectionate, she's stunning. However, I did not make her. I'm not taking any credit. Pug owned made Luna, and they have the best pets. If I'm ever doing a house with pets, I will always use pug owned pets because they just look so amazing. No credit here for that cat. It's all pug owned. So this is the family together, and we'll just look at their sort of relationship panel. So they've got amazing compatibility, but it's a strained relationship. And then with the daughter, it's difficult. They've got awful compatibility, but obviously she is their daughter. And then with the granddaughter, the friends, good compatibility, and he is supportive of Ruby. With Patricia, obviously with Danica and Patricia, they're distant, but they do have good compatibility, they just struggle. And then with Ruby, she's strict with Ruby, and they don't have the best compatibility. And then Ruby to her mum is a difficult relationship, bad compatibility. And then this is the house that they all live in. So, like I said, it is made for them, and I hope you can sort of see that in the build. I always find it a lot easier to do it when it's made for a family, like I say. I just think it means that you have a bit of an idea. This is them all having a bit of family time, which I think is really cute. I like how that space came together with them two sort of sat there on the chairs. She's dancing around. You know, although she's strict and she's nosy, she's still a nice person, I think. And then if we go to the kitchen, we've got Luna jumping around the kitchen because she is a cat. That is what she will do. And you've got those marks again behind the cooker. And then if we go into the bathroom here, this one's mainly Leroy and Patricia's bathroom. The way I'm sort of seeing it is that they are obviously getting older, they probably struggle getting up the stairs. Obviously it's Sims, you've got to use your imagination with that a little bit, so that's why they've got this downstairs big bedroom, which I think is quite cute. I think it's very them, to be fair, which I'm happy about. And then I decided he was into fishing, which is why you've got the lures. And then this is the outside. Obviously we're going to night time now, because it took me so long to film this. But in a minute you see the lights come on and it's really cute. And like I said, that little wheelbarrow with flowers is just the cutest thing, and it made me really, really happy. And then when you go upstairs, you've got this is Ruby's bathroom. But like I said, this isn't been made specifically for Ruby or anything, it's how they've always had it. And here's Ruby coming upstairs to go to her room, and then this is Ruby's room, kitted out for all her studies, and obviously she wants to end up being an author. So yeah, there she is sleeping, and outside she's got this little lookout. Didn't really think about the big tree, but I think it's quite cute actually looking at the tree. Maybe there's birds in there. It's quite a nice little area. You've got a lot of water around you. It's just quite a nice little place. And then that's the back and the front, and that's it. That's them just enjoying their time, and Luna's just getting about in the background. But yeah, I hope you like it. Thank you very, very much for watching. I might do another one, I might not. Like I said, this is mainly just sort of for me. But yeah, I do appreciate it. If you have watched it and enjoyed it, please let me know, and like and subscribe if you want to. Thank you. Bye.